All right, it's time for another Soul Finder podcast. Kathy D. Carter, kathydcarter.com. I'm Frito. I'm the skeptic. I'm the low-level thinker in the room. Kathy is the high-level thinker. I tend to always learn something when I talk to Kathy, and I think you will too. We'll get into that later. Right now, we're going to talk about something that you brought up off the microphone. I want to bring it onto the microphone here, onto the podcast. You use the term shadow work. Mm-hmm. Tell me about shadow work.
So, the way that our collective understands and the lingo that is accepted right now is we have a light side to us and we have a shadow side to us. So, you could equate that to the vibrational frequency as being your light side is higher frequency, your shadow side is lower frequency. So, in order to know your shadow side, you have to know both sides of yourself in order to be in your full power. So to be in your full power, you want to, a lot of people call it do your shadow work, go through your shadow side, know your shadow side. And the way we explain that is your shadow side is what you would tend to probably judge as lower frequency actions. For example, lots of people believe that thou shalt not kill. Okay, so if I'm holding my little baby and I know that these people are coming and they are known for taking babies and killing them in front of you, then I'm probably not going to live by that law. My inner moral code is going to say I'm going to protect my child. So I will use whatever means I have available to me to keep those people from getting my baby, or even to the point of killing them if I have to, if I have the means to. That's my shadow side. Now, I have to know my shadow side very well because I need to know how much I can do and how much I won't do. Does that make sense?
Makes all the sense in the world, yes.
So if I carry a gun around all the time and I know that I am very volatile and I can be triggered in a heartbeat and I have a lot of stored emotion and I'm a raging madman, then you come to the point where maybe it's not safe for me to carry a gun because you're not responsible for your actions. You're not in control of your actions because you have, and I keep going back to this because it is stored emotion that causes people to be out of control. It is stored emotions that causes people to act out of the ordinary and to do crazy, ignorant things that if they saw someone else do it, they'd say, well, why would they do that? But the stored emotion has such a strong energy, and the more that you have stored and stored and stored, so the older you are usually, you have a lot more, but young ones can have lots too, don't get me wrong. That stored emotion has a frequency, and when it gets triggered, its food is drama. So do you see why we have so much drama in this world right now? Everybody has so much freaking stored emotion they won't work with and heal. They'd rather be addicted to the high of projecting emotion onto others and getting drama.
I think there's never been a beginning of an episode where I've agreed more with what you have said. I'm kind of going through that right now. And my stored emotion and my passion now is I'm tired of intolerance. And I'm beginning to, the old me just didn't care. Uh-huh. I mean, I cared, but it wasn't worth voicing. Mm-hmm.
You were storing it by doing that.
Yeah, I was storing it, absolutely.
You were storing it by saying it doesn't matter.
And it's pent up now. Mm-hmm. And it's pent up to the point where when I see intolerance, because and this is going to be a little squirrel moment, but here's my belief on intolerance. Okay. And it's hard. Maybe you can help me here. Because it's kind of it's maybe a little hypocritical because right now I'm intolerant of intolerance. And that's, I'm going against what I'm saying because I'm intolerant of intolerant people. And where I'm going with that is I have very strong opinions, especially now as you keep pointing out, in the time we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to this podcast in 2025 or 2030, we're recording these in 2021, right in the middle of a pandemic, right in the middle of people being very opinionated about vaccinations and about masks. And I'm telling you this right now, in 2021, that if you're listening to this in 2025, you're probably laughing at us and the way that we reacted and some of the decisions we made. And I'm going to apologize for us.
Please do.
Because you know what? We're dealing with something that we've never dealt with before in our lifetime, and we don't have the answers. And I think there's a lot of throwing darts that's going on right now. I think there's a lot of people that are calling themselves experts, and they may be scientific experts, but they don't know. And so they're trying to make decisions based on information that isn't complete. And you're going to make some stupid decisions. And in 2025, I think we're going to look back and think, wow, we made some real stupid decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But in 2021, we're making the decisions based on the information we have now. So I'm saying all that to tell you this. I am very opinionated on certain things, but the one thing that I want to make sure of is that I understand that there's some level-headed, intelligent people that don't agree with my opinion.
Right.
And I'm not going to demean them. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to make fun of them for the most part. Mm-hmm. As long as I can see logic, as long as I can see where they're going, and have the way I put it, as long as they're showing their work, and I can see what logic they use to come to the wrong conclusion. Okay? I don't have time for people that just make up numbers or make things up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I'm fine with people that disagree with my thoughts, and I want to be tolerant of that. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to make fun of them. And what we're dealing with right now are people that are completely intolerant of believing
anything other than what they believe.
Yeah. And the truth of the matter is that there are people on the other side, no matter what you think, they're level-headed and smart. And just because they don't agree with you doesn't make them idiots, doesn't make them morons, doesn't make them stupid.
Right.
Just means they disagree. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
So I hope you're listening in 2025. Hope we're still all alive then.
Yeah, really.
But so shadow. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going through in the shadows.
So intolerance is a big one. And it is hard to have tolerance for a person that is allowing their child to play in the street where they're speeding cars. Right?
Well, it's a podcast. I just shook my head yes.
Yes.
I probably should tell you yes, obviously.
So that's a really tough one, because if you see the car coming and the child's out there oblivious to the car coming, the mother's not seeing the car coming, what do? You going to go save the child or not? Is it your business to go save the child?
Well, yes.
Okay. So you save the child from the car hitting it.
If I can.
What do you do when the mother says, you shouldn't have touched my child?
I explained to her that the reason the child's still here is because I didn't touch your child. That car's going to touch your child.
And maybe she would say, well, that was the intent. Where's your intolerance go then? Or your tolerance?
Wow. Well, A, she's wrong.
Oh, is she wrong? You're judging her?
I'm judging her. She's wrong.
Okay.
And she's going to have to explain more why she even give that child back to her.
Okay. Now that's a good point. Because at that point, you can see the child is definitely in danger, and a child cannot protect themselves. So that is a time when it is your business to intervene and protect the child.
Yeah.
Good.
I think I did a good job there.
Yes, you did.
I'm very proud of
Very
myself.
good. Very good. Mm-hmm.
But I see where you're going with that.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Because there is the situations, and they're terrible to be in, because I've been in some of them, where you can see obvious abuse of a child. you can see that the parents or the people, the guardians that have this child are not taking care of this child properly. But yet it's not your business to intervene. And if this child is older than 10, 12, 13, where do we call the breaking point? And where is it our business to protect that child, and where is it not our business to protect that child? That's a hairy line.
It absolutely is. And it's not the only hairy line that you experience in life. There's
lots of them.
It's full. Life is full of them.
Yes. And it's kind of like when you were talking a while ago with the state that the world is in, and we're in something new, still, even I have guilt at times, and guilt is only self-imposed, self-made up. But I feel like I should be doing more. I should be doing more to get more warriors out there that are in their power doing what they came to do, because they're lost. Warriors get lost. And that's what my job is to help them get back on path and get in their power doing what they came to do. Because we don't have enough people, what should I say, speaking their beliefs and resisting what others are doing.
That is exactly where I'm at right now. And when you say doing more, that is what I think the world right now needs more of.
We're stalled out.
Is the extremes are speaking, and the people like I used to be. And when I say used to be, I'm talking about a month ago.
Right.
Just, hey, you know what? I'm above it all. Because I know it's a cocky, you know, I know.
We've all been there.
I'm not going to get into this fray. You know, let them. But when you let the extremes do all the talking, your voice, you're silent on purpose.
You're letting them have the power.
The extremes have the power. Yeah, and the world needs to know that the people that should have the power are the level-headed. And I'm judging him now. But what's happening is level-headed people tend to just let things happen. And through not bad intentions.
Not bad
like
intentions, yes.
How's it my place to impose my thoughts on others?
And at the same time, we have these people sitting thinking, well, there should be more activists out there on this side or that side doing what needs to be done right now. Are we losing freedoms? If we are, what are we doing? Handing them on a tray? And it's like, where do we go with this? What is my purpose in this to help change this? And am I not acting because I should be acting? Am I scared to act? And if I'm scared to act, then I've already lost the game.
Yeah.
Because I've already turned over all my freedoms if I'm scared to act.
I think there's a lot of scared to act. I think there's a lot of...
Because they've come out so strong.
Yeah, and not necessarily indifference. I was going to use the word indifference, but just... I'm going to live my life, and...
But you can't now.
Well, you can't. And go back to the scared part. And once again, maybe another squirrel moment for us. But once again, 2021, when we're recording this, and there's a lot to have an opinion about. And one of the things that's happened this week as we record this is Afghanistan.
Yes.
And I will tell you, a month ago, I didn't care what happened in Afghanistan. That's literally a world away. Doesn't impact me at all. But then you see the footage of the people in Afghanistan, the Afghanis, that are so desperate to get out of that country that they're willing to literally hang on to wings and wheels of airplanes as they're taking off. And Kathy, you know what my thought was? And this is a change in me, and maybe the shadows. A month ago, I would have looked at it and had the same inner thought, maybe in the shadows, maybe that's of, wow, that's sad. Now that I've decided I'm done with intolerance, I'm done with staying quiet, now I want to take that same footage that I saw with the Afghani people that want to get over here, and I want to show it to a group of Americans that have been protesting. Whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's other special interest groups that think that our country is awful and they want to hate our country. And I want to show them that footage and say, you know what, here's the thing. You're right, we can do better. We can do better. But you're in a pretty damn good place. And if you need proof, you shouldn't need proof, but if you need proof on how good we have it here, even though we can do better, look at what these people here are doing to try and get over here. So you may want to calm down a little bit and celebrate where you are and what we've accomplished and just start from here rather than starting from when there were real problems here and when it was real bad, and understand that we've got it so good here that people are willing to basically know that they're about to kill themselves to get here. And they're willing to take that chance. So slow your roll a little bit. And so that's my political statement.
Well, and that's the force that some people look at it like, if I don't concentrate on that, then that's not in my life. People believe that we can live different realms within the same realm. So you can live in the realm where there's not war and that stuff. Then there's the realm where that is. I don't know exactly what I believe today on that, but I do know that people that are impasse cannot concentrate on all of that because they won't be able to function. They cannot take in the world pain and still function. They cannot focus on all of the ills of the globe and carry, because it affects them too much. Now, other people that's not an empath, that's different. I'm talking strictly about impasse, and they have to do what's healthy for them. So if they have no way of doing anything for the people in Afghanistan or China, we got the same kind of conditions in China. We have a world here that's starting to change, and that's what the warriors are here for. The warriors came to help stop this, to keep us from destroying the planet Earth and the civilization. And it's a battle. It's a duality. So healing is the only way that warriors refine themselves. Because the empath I was just talking about, lots of our great warriors are very creative people, very much of an empath, and they have lost their way because they had no support as a child, and they have gone to some form of addiction, and usually it's drugs or alcohol, and they are so far in there because they were never taught how to deal with the pain of the world. And it's sad. It's really sad.
And they'll suffer in silence.
Well, yeah. Because they just go deeper and deeper in their addiction because no one understands. No one gets why they're where they're at. No one understands that, no, it's not that I don't want to be sober and straight and function. It's I can't, because I can't handle the emotional load and I don't know why.
Now, this may be a topic for another one. We've gone a little long here. But even though your eyes were open to this when you were young, you knew that you wanted to help others. I think probably as a teenager. But you've pointed out that you were 50 years old.
Before I knew I had a choice.
Yeah.
And before I started healing. I had problems with alcohol myself. I mean, there's many addictions that I had, and I didn't know how to get out of them. I was lucky that I was not one of the people that was not able to control the addiction. I was very lucky that it didn't suck me in so far that I couldn't get out on my own. Because that's usually what happens to people.
It's also proof it's not too late.
Right. Anyone can change and the body will adjust, but our problem is we don't have rehab centers that help those people.
No.
We don't have successful rehab centers right now.
And as you've pointed out, healing is a process.
And you got to heal the stored emotion. That's what's skipped everywhere. Everywhere.
Now, is it easier for some people than others? Is the process
easier?
quicker for some people than others?
Yes, it is. And part of that is because our world is evolving to a higher frequency all the time, and the healing is happening much quicker than when I did my 7 years of it. Of course, I'm able to coach them and move them faster if they want to. I've had a little girl come in that has absorbed the knowledge and everything I can give her, and it never overloads her because I can tell. I also have a client that I can't even really, we can't do stored emotion work until she gets some physical help because her body, I don't know what's wrong with it, but I know I can't push her to that yet. This other one had physical stuff too, and she's getting work on that because I can sense it. I can't tell you what's wrong, but I can sense that the body's not stable. And she has absorbed everything, and she had very black and white beliefs, but she didn't feel comfortable with them, what she had been taught. And she is struggling huge to try to get rid of the stored emotion and heal it and release it. But she is moving tremendously fast. So everybody is at their own pace. It's their choice how fast they go. It really is.
That makes
because
sense.
I can take them as fast as they want to go.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, in a future episode on the healing process, we're going to talk about how you know when you're healed, and can you know when you're healed. And that's coming up on a future episode, just to give you a heads up so you can prepare for that. KathyDCarter.com is where you need to go. She's a soul finder, and I keep telling you this. Talk to her. Contact her. Go to the website. Contact her. Talk to her. You're at the very, 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 very least, you're going to find out something about yourself. You're going to learn about yourself. And more than likely, she's going to change something or help you change something about your life. There we go. Soul Finder.